David Thibodeau had that perspective. He was one of only 9 people who survived that horror, and he wrote about it. He wrote about everything in a book called Waco, A Survivor's Story, and he's live with me now this week on this 30th anniversary. David, thank you so much for joining me on this very inauspicious occasion. I still can't believe it's 30 years, and I wonder, having lived through it, if you have felt every one of those years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's periods of time that go by. It's almost like a dream. It's like you're trying to make a living. You're trying to get by, do what everybody else is doing. And all of a sudden you turn the TV on and there's the conflagration. There's the building burning. You're like, oh, that really did happen. What's happened, recently in the last 5 years is I wrote a book out of frustration. Many of the things that you said in the introduction to this, there's many misconceptions still to this day. Many, what I think are kind of propaganda techniques that are still being used, and the entire truth still hasn't really been told. And you need more than just the government telling you what's going on. You need first people perspectives.
Can you take me inside? David, tell me what it was like inside, because we only saw what was going on outside, but from your perspective, what was happening inside?
Well, I would like to talk about David Koresh, and he was the only person that was on that warrant to get him. He jogged in front of their house every day. ATF had a surveillance house. They could have and should have gotten him outside of the building. They did not need to come in with 75 armed men and helicopters in the back of the building. The way they chose to serve that warrant, I think, was criminal. They knew that they had lost the element of surprise, and they went forward with it anyway. These are things that, this all could have been avoided. That's what I've been saying for years and years and years. And you want to know what was going on during the siege? Many things. It was a terrible lack of communication between the negotiators and the tactical commanders. Now, there were times that people were coming out pretty smoothly. First 2, then 3, and then a few more would come out. And then the tactical commanders would start to put the pressure on, and the tanks would run over our property at the outset of the building. They'd start running over the cars. They would run over some graves that we had in front of the building. There was a place where Peter Gent was buried. And they would do things to antagonize the people inside that building. And we couldn't understand for the life of us why, if things were going smoothly, are you putting the pressure on? There's a professor that I've been working with from Beaumont, Texas. He did analysis of, there's a book that the FBI uses in a situation like this. There's something like 26 violations of their own first steps. If they want to get people out of a building, they have plans in place. They have a rule book. 26 different times they violated their own rules. How do they expect there to be a harmony and for people to come out of that building?
David, I want to have you back for a very fulsome conversation. We had a manhunt that ended tonight, and I would have liked to have a longer conversation with you, but I'm up against a hard end to the show, and I'd love to have you back. In the meantime, I do want to tell our viewers your book is called Waco, A Survivor's Story. Thank you for coming on, and I look forward to our next conversation. David Thibodeau, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.